This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
PM Marape says APEC Summit opens new doors. PNG establishes trade relations with other countries. Immigration and Citizenship Authority reactivate MSG visa. Good evening, this is National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. PNG engagement in the 2022 APEC Summit in Bangkok has opened up many doors to trade opportunities, and also Prime Minister and his ministerial delegation exchange dialogue with trade-leading countries including the US, China and other APEC nations who have shown great interest to trade with PNG. Prime Minister James Marape, along with the Trade and Commerce Minister Richard Maru and Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tachenko, briefed the media this morning upon their return into Port Moresby.
PNG's engagements in the 2022 APEC meeting in Bangkok has opened many doors to trade opportunities with other APEC countries. Prime Minister James Marape, while addressing the media this morning upon his return from Thailand, highlighted that PNG during the meeting had a lot of bilateral meetings with other nations, especially where trade is concerned. Marape highlighted that many of the great economic countries have shown great interest to buy finished products from PNG. He said USA and China are willing to increase trade relationship with PNG, especially in the downstreaming processing of products.
Focus more so on trade and increasing our trade relationships. USA, for instance, I clearly pointed them to the direction of getting engaged in our fisheries, more so downstream processing of our fish resources for export back to the US fish market. Instead of Papua New Guinea just exporting our fish to Europe, we also ask the US companies and the USA to be a place of market for our fish and fisheries resources. China, by the way, gave a very warm indication. Any produces you produce, we can pick it up.
Prime Minister Marape has urged the people to get more engaged in agriculture to ramp up production and added that government will assist by identifying and securing market space.
Let's not just rest and expect 1 or 2 persons to be doing these sort of jobs. All provincial governments, including our autonomous Bougainville government, all districts, all people who own parcel of land in our country, get your hands dirty, get engaged in agriculture. Our government, in our focus for 2023, will have some specific focus on getting our people into those production areas.
Foreign Minister Justin Tachenko highlighted that the meeting sees a positive outcome beneficial to PNG and outlined that most of the dialogues he had with other leaders was focused on only trade, investments and economic opportunities.
We are looking forward to their working with us on trade, investment and economic opportunities. Not one mention at all to me as a foreign minister on national security. Nothing. It's all about trade. It's all about how we can work together, sell our products, make it happen in between both countries.
Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso and other members of the Parliament were present at the airport this morning to receive the Prime Minister and the delegation. The main theme of the 2022 APEC Summit was food, energy and climate security. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
Trade and Commerce Minister Richard Maru, upon his return from the 2022 APEC meeting in Bangkok this morning, highlighted to the media some of the key outcomes from the summit. Minister Maru has highlighted that this APEC summit has enabled PNG to establish trade relations with countries where PNG, since independence, has never had trade relations with.
And this is a great opportunity for Papua New Guinea.
Minister Maru outlined that PNG has seen great exposure to this international event, where for the first time the minister had bilateral meetings with a number of great nations, showing great interest to trade with PNG.
This is my sixth time to go to an APEC meeting as trade minister. And I must say, this one is, for me, the best we've had as a country. The respect, the interest of countries to talk to us is we've never reached that level before. And clearly the last APEC we hosted has had a big impact on the minds of leaders from right around the globe. I, for the first time, had 8 bilateral meetings.
Minister Maru revealed that an invitation was given to the Indonesian trade minister to visit Vainimo to establish air and shipping services between the two countries.
In Indonesia, I met the trade minister, and we agreed that he'll be coming over to Vainimo in January to talk trade and to talk about how we can look at putting in an air service between our two countries and shipping service between PNG and Indonesia. They really want to open up trade.
Maru also highlighted that they have also made a request to the Asian Secretary General to train PNG's negotiating team.
Provide training so that we have a team that's ready to start negotiating with Japan, China this year. Our Prime Minister and the Chinese President have agreed Papua New Guinea must sign a free trade agreement with China next year. To do that, we need a team to be trained, taught. We need to have a framework, in fact, a structure on how the agreement should be structured and framed. And ASEAN has now agreed. They will bring the standard template they use with all Asian member countries.
Maru also added that the dialogue was exchanged with Vietnam, the second biggest coffee producer in the world, to share their ideas with PNG.
They want to be in the mining industry in Papua New Guinea, and we've agreed that in February I'll be leading a trade mission into Vietnam, where we're going to meet the government of Vietnam, and specifically we want to focus on bringing our people in the agriculture sector in coffee. We want to learn the tricks on why they have now become the second biggest producer in the world.
Minister Maru added that PNG needs to leverage these opportunities that are currently at hand. He made this statement following his return from the 2022 APEC summit. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
And we continue on with local stories. Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Minister for Labour and Immigration Minister for Lands, Physical Planning and Urbanisation, John Rosso, today announced the reactivation of visa on arrival for Melanesian Spearhead Group countries. He highlighted that this is an important achievement for PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority. Minister Rosso said this will help restore international travel arrangements.
As PNG shares close and personal business ties with other Melanesian countries, bringing back the reciprocal visa on arrival arrangements with the MSG has been PNG ICA's priority. Acting Minister for PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority John Rosso said that today PNG reactivates its reciprocal visa on arrival arrangements, allowing travellers from Fiji, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu and New Caledonia to enjoy streamlined travel to PNG.
For today, I'd like to thank the CMO and his staff for ensuring that the Marape Rosso's government vision to strengthen those ties with the Melanesian countries and also make it easier for travel to countries who do have reciprocal arrangement with us.
Minister Rosso added that he plans to extend visa on arrival program to other countries where formal bilateral visa on arrival arrangements exits other countries, which provides Papua New Guineans with reciprocal visa on arrival arrangements, including other Pacific nations.
I'm pleased to announce today the reactivation of the visa on arrival for passport holders of these countries within the Melanesian Spearhead Group. The reactivation of visa on arrival for the MSG is another important achievement to the PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority, or ICA.
Chief Migration Officer Stanis Hulahau said those arrangements within the MSG countries will remove the need for those passport holders to apply for visa before travelling to PNG.
Issuing visa on arrival for Melanesian countries
does not compromise border security or national security, because there are integrities that we put in place, a governing process in place, and one of which is to ensure that operators of airlines are informed that citizens of our MSG countries traveling into Papua New Guinea, firstly, before they receive their boarding passes, must demonstrate proof of vaccination.
He said this will help to reunite families, facilitate businesses' engagements, and build tourism opportunities throughout Melanesia. Minister Rosso relaunched a visa on arrival for the countries within the Melanesian Spearhead Group at the PNG Immigration Headquarters in Port Moresby, witnessed by representatives from MSG, PNG government and the media. The relaunch of the visa on arrival for the MSG follows the reactivation of the online visa auto grant system in August and highlights the Marape Rosso government's commitment through the ICA to improve the turnaround time for clients and encourage travel and business.
Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Minister for Immigration and Citizenship John Rosso today confirmed in a media conference that PNG ICA has not run off with passport booklets. He said this after hearing information that the ICA has nil stock of the PNG passport booklets. He said that ICA had not run out of passport booklets, nor have they stopped issuing them to citizens.
According to Minister Rosso, the number of current passport booklets is fast running low due to high volume of passport applications received by ICA since the opening of the borders for most countries after COVID-19. Minister Rosso, however, highlighted that necessary administrative measures have been taken to prevent a situation whereby the ICA runs short or out of passport booklets.
A lot of people haven't traveled. So when a lot of people don't travel, you have a backlog. A lot of those passports expired. So now they're standing in line trying to get the passports done. So immigration now has a huge backlog that they've got to deal with a similar amount of staff. So that created the backlog for our citizens.
Mr. Rosso said that while awaiting the delivery of new passport books, the ICA has continued to process and grant PNG passport to citizens when they apply. He acknowledged that some applications are taking longer to process, and the major reason for this delay is the high volume of applications and less staff to process the passports.
No shortage of passports. I've been informed when the matter was raised, and the CMO has advised that they've already planned for it. They've got a couple thousand more passports also that arrived last week, and more passports arriving in December to cater for the festivity period.
Meanwhile, since the opening of the international borders, many are applying for passports to travel for various reasons. The number of passport applications since the opening of the borders is unprecedented. As of the 31st of October 2022, ICA received over 23,000 passport applications. On average, this figure would roughly translate to 2,300 per month or 100 applications per working day as per data from ICA. Minister Rosso said that this volume has put a lot of pressure on the resources and systems and affected ICA's capacity to meet the expectations of the clients.
A lot of our citizens are now picking up passports not just for travel, but also as a means of identification too, which creates that backlog. So they're dealing with the issue at the moment, and I apologize to the public.
However, Minister Rosso said that the ICA was very much aware of the scenario and commenced the procurement process earlier for new passport books, which ICA purchased in June of this year and had 2 badges, which have arrived this month and 2 more to arrive in December of this year.
Discussions are underway to establish a sister city initiative between Port Moresby City and Da Nang City in Vietnam. This initiative was highly recommended and collectively agreed upon in a bilateral meeting between Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tachenko and his counterpart Vietnam Foreign Minister Bui Thanh San during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Bangkok, Thailand.
Minister Tachenko, who is also the member for Mosby South electorate in the National Capital District, told Minister Sun that he was fully supportive of the initiative, as Vietnam is widely considered a rapidly emerging Southeast Asian powerhouse with a thriving tourism industry. He said Da Nang had hosted the 2017 APEC summit and had a lot to offer to Port Moresby and Papua New Guinea in the broader context.
For the first time, we got together with Vietnam. Now, Vietnam is an up-and-coming country that has really proven itself it can make something out of nothing. And the main capital, Da Nang, is one area that clearly shows what Vietnam can do. So the Honourable Paus Pakop, as Governor, was there working with the Foreign Minister and their staff to set up a new sister city relationship between the two cities in Vietnam for the benefit of trade and support and development.
And City Governor Paus Pakop, who also sat in the bilateral meeting, expressed keen interest in the management systems that Vietnam employed to maximize their special economic zones. Governor Pakop said Vietnam is leading in terms of that model of stimulating their economy and creating employment and businesses. He said this is an area where he and Minister Tachenko have been talking about and invited Vietnam to assist in agriculture, fisheries and tourism. Minister Sun said it was a good proposal because they already had set up sister cities with other countries, and through proposed diplomatic channels, they would set up this initiative with Da Nang. He said Da Nang is one of the fastest growing cities in Vietnam and it's now an attraction for tourism and other sectors. Minister Sun said it's good to share experiences and learn from each other. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tachenko highlighted to the media this morning Japan's intention to continue its role in PNG, especially in the health and education sectors. Tachenko added that as part of Japan's continued role in PNG, the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida will take part in the opening of the Natsap Airport in Leh, Morebe Province once it is completed. The minister made this statement following his return from the APEC summit in Bangkok, Thailand.
One of our close allies, close friends, buys a lot of our LNG to assist our economy, but also putting in a lot to service in aid and donations and infrastructure and programs and activities. And they want to increase their role here in Papua New Guinea going forward. And we look forward to those outcomes, not just talking about it, but making that happen with the Japanese government. And the Prime Minister has invited the Japanese Prime Minister to officially open Natsap Airport when that is completed. So showing the relationship there.
As a way going forward for the people of Middle Ramu, the newly elected member for the District Council, Hawaii Kamdaru, asked a question without notice in Parliament today to the Minister for Works regarding the Medeng Baya Road.
The question was basically to find out if the Medeng Baya Road is part of the Connect PNG program by the Marape Rosso government. Kamdaru says it is taking a very long time for the completion of this road and he needs to know if it has been taken into consideration by the government with the Link PNG program.
This road has been start long time now. All people belong Middle Ramu are mosem. Road by connect him. Medeng na Baya. Now this road has taken long time. And I stop also all people accept him, expect him was road by connect. Only stop long time now. 47 years me play sleep long bush na. Me play waiting this road tas already no connect.
In response, Minister for Works and Highways Solan Mirisam says since it has been taken care of by the PNG Defence Force, he has already sent them a letter and is awaiting their response.
So me writing opinions law, Defense Minister. Na me waiting mem long acknowledge him this letter na by right lomi na by release him this road officially. Time me release him now by me put him underneath law connect PNG. Also missing link. Long starting this law program next year. Law budget by me blai tender him this road.
Minister Mirism further says he has included Meding Baya Highway in the Connect PNG program, and the construction will start once he receives a response to his letter from the Defense Minister. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
An investigation is underway and will reveal what happened last weekend that resulted in members of the PNG Defence Force storming the Boroko police station last Sunday morning, November 20th, 2022. This was alluded to by Commander NCD's Central Assistant Commissioner Anthony Wagambi Jr. in a statement.
Reports state that at about 10 o'clock Sunday morning, November 20th, a group of disgruntled soldiers stormed the Boroko police station. According to Commander Wagambi Jr., after a report reached the soldiers that one of their men was allegedly assaulted by some members of the Special Services Division based at 9 Miles McGregor Police Barracks, they retaliated, which resulted in the confrontation. Intervention by senior officers from both PNGDF and the Royal PNG Police Constabulary ensured normalcy was restored. Commander Wagambi Jr. has ordered an immediate investigation into the incident involving the soldier. Moreover, through this investigation, the police are investigating and collecting CCTV footages of the damages done at the Boroko police station, which is a state property. Commander Wagambi added that he was not aware of what happened at McGregor Barracks, hence the investigation will give them better information. PNGDF Military Police will be part of this investigation team. This was stated by Commander Wagambi Jr. in the statement. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Member for Kairuku, Peter Isoaimo, has called on the government to look into addressing the ongoing issues of people's movement into towns and cities. Isoaimo raised this concern following a recent incident at Erima that involved the killing of a young man from his district who was out doing shopping at Erima to take home to Kairuku.
In Australia,
Isoaimo raised his concerns, stating that the government should look into putting up border posts in all provincial borders to mitigate the movement of people.
so how do we address this issue? He got planned long. I think long. Some of the time he got finished, Governor Powers, he asked long internal visa system. Mipla sampla lo provincial government blo mipla woklo suggest him all inter-border, provincial border posts.
In responding to this, Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso said it is a big concern to the government and they will look into reintroducing the Vagrancy Act.
We are also looking at ways of reintroducing the Vagrancy Act to try to restrict people from moving to urban centres. Part of the other issues also is making certain our NID system is issued to all our citizens, a better NID system, so the police too can have records and track people moving or migrating to our urban centres. So these things combined with, as you quite rightfully suggested, border posts into our cities, so they can check the movement of people and see whether they're there for good purpose or bad purpose.
The issue of migration into cities, especially Port Moresby, is of big concern to the people of Central Province. During a recent meeting of the Central Provincial Government, MP Isoaimo had raised this concern as well. Isoaimo said the Connect PNG program will open up Central Province to the rest of Papua New Guinea, thus he is calling on the Central Provincial Government to take this matter seriously. The Minister for Internal Security was also asked to take note as this issue contributes to law and order problems. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
The Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, William Duma, during the Parliament sitting today revealed that the Marape Rosso government is planning to introduce a new commercial bank into the country due to the increase in population and also the existing banks not reaching many parts of the country.
The Marape Rosso government has made a decision to apply for and establish another commercial bank in this country. If we take the example of smaller countries like Fiji, Mr. Speaker, they have more than 8 different commercial banks operating there. And in a country of more than 10 million people, this country needs more banks. And when you take into account the fact that ANZ Bank and Westpac are downsizing their operations, and they don't seem to be keen in expanding their presence to other more remote areas and having presence there, it is incumbent upon all of us as leaders to seek to establish another bank. If we see that the existing banks, such as BSP, are not providing the service that our people need.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.2765 US, $0.4158 Australian dollars, $0.2628 euro, 38.91 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices, New York closed, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, copra closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, copper closed lower. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The Road Traffic Authority is warning travellers, especially for the Highlands Highway, who are doing what is known as two-light trips. With reports of accidents coming in from the Highlands region, the Chief Executive Officer for RTA, Nelson Terma, discourages passengers from travelling in the night from Lae to Mount Hagen and all the way to the Southern Highlands and Enga provinces in the night.
Since the number of public motor vehicles is increasing on the Highlands Highway, the two-light trip has been a norm along the highway. However, the RTA CEO is encouraging the general public not to travel during the night as it involves a lot of risks.
Inform and educate our drivers to be very careful when they are conducting business on those on the road and even highways too. And also I've seen there's recently been increase in PMBs, especially running two-light buses from the Islands Highway, from Lae to Madang to Hagen, all the way to Southern Islands and Enga. And during the festive period, we need to, consider the safety of the lives, because traveling in the night, you are taking each, risk. So I think we need to, after this concern, we will be looking at how we can, stop these two-light operations.
Mr. Terama highlights that it is not only the responsibility of the RTA to create awareness to the general public on the risks involved, but for everyone, including the traveling public. He also asked vehicle owners to take responsibility as well to avoid bad accidents from taking place.
Be very conscious about the life of people they are carrying. So these are some of the measures. It's not only RTA who's going to minimize road accidents. People have to be, take the responsibility, especially the owners, even the passengers too. Traveling in the night you are taking a big risk. So you need to, choose to travel, which is the safest way.
Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
The National Cultural Commission signed a Memorandum of Understanding with UPNG under the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. The memorandum was basically to help to work closely with the school on courses that involved culture and arts.
Vice-Chancellor for the University of Papua New Guinea, Professor Frank Griffin highlights the importance of this MOU.
It's like an umbrella type of a MOU that opens up quite a lot of opportunities, if you like. It also opens up avenues where research can be conducted into archaeology, for example, because archaeology, as we all know, is about the historical aspects of our development through time, and the cultural aspects of it are very, very pertinent and very, very important to Papua New Guinea culture.
He says this MOU will benefit not only one strand, which is the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, but also other faculties. Director for the National Cultural Commission, Stephen Enoy Kilanda, thanked UPNG for the opportunity to help in terms of preserving the culture and arts in the country. UPNG also has a working relationship with the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority for the School of Business and Public Policy. The two parties have agreed and are looking forward to taking the next step in implementing the MOU in partnership with the Institute of PNG Studies. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
Teachers in the nation's capital and around the country have been urged not to go on strike, as this can disrupt the Term 4 assessment period for the students. President of the PNG Teachers Association, Aita Sanangepe, says issues affecting teachers in the country will be addressed accordingly in time.
President Sanangepe says they are aware of issues affecting the teachers and are working closely with the Teaching Service Commission or TSC to further discuss on the 3% Consumer Price Index or CPI and log of claims.
I would like to guarantee to the teachers of Papua New Guinea, you are the resource builders. Prime Minister of this country, to the people walk about on the street, you teachers are the ones make them to be. And you are truly human resource developers. Serving in the center schools in the cities, all four corners of Papua New Guinea. And Prime Minister of this country, I appeal to you now. And this is our stand now. We are going at the back of Teaching Service Commission Chairman. And he's preparing something. And PNDT will give them 100% support to make sure that teachers 3%. And now PNDT in support, Morben request for 6%. So we give them support for 6% now. For the Prime Minister of this country, NEC and decision-making bodies, members of Parliament, make sure that teachers must be included.
Sanangepe highlights that any information regarding teachers going on strike is not from the PNGTA.
Don't listen to anybody on the street talking about strike. Teachers, I appeal to you, your matters are now taken up by PNGTA. We are not going to support any teacher who goes out for strike. Strike is illegal. Strike has got a process to follow.
The PNGTA is appealing to teachers to remain in classrooms with normal daily routines as the association collaborates with the relevant authorities to iron out their issues. Jim John, National EMTV News.
And moving overseas, a magnitude of 5.6 earthquake hit Indonesia's West Java province and killed 162 people. Many of them are children, while many are injured.
As the shaking subsided, shocked residents stood out on the streets of Cianjur to take in the damage done to their homes. It was extensive. By normal measurements, this was not an especially powerful earthquake, but it was shallow, close to the Earth's surface, enough to cause hundreds of buildings to collapse. They brought the injured to the main hospital in the area in any way they could. Some carried on floor mats, others in the backs of trucks. This child in the arms of a soldier, and in a constant, chaotic stream of ambulances. With aftershocks still being felt, they were left on tarpaulins put down outside the hospital, with nurses treating them as best they could where they lay. Officials have been trying to coordinate rescue efforts for places which have been cut off. We still have one area that's not been evacuated, said the district chief. The road is completely blocked by a landslide. Earthquakes are not unusual here along Indonesia's so-called Ring of Fire. But this one appears to have been more destructive than most. So many lives lost, so many homes to rebuild.
National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The PNG Palais and the PNG Pukpuks have secured a spot in the 2023 Rugby Union Challenger Series after claiming 3 of their matches in the Oceania Women's Sevens tournament over the weekend.
Throughout the weekend-long Oceania Women's Sevens Challenger Series, the PNG Palais went through undefeated, claiming the Oceania Women's Sevens Championships, which secured a spot for them in the 2023 Rugby Sevens Challenger Series, which will be held in Chile. The Palais' first clash was against Tonga, where they claimed a staggering 33 win over the Tongan side who scored nothing. The second game was against Cook Islands, where again PNG Palais won with 25 points, as Cook Islands scored 5 points. Their third clash was called off due to terrible weather conditions, to which a decision was reached that the PNG Palais now qualify for the 2023 Chile Challenger Series. Meanwhile, in the men's challenge, saw Tonga and PNG qualifying for the 2023 Chile Challenger Series. Both teams have been declared winners of the Oceania Men's Sevens Championships. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
The oldest and the longest golf championship in the country, the New Britain Open Golf Championship, hosted its 2022 competition throughout last weekend in East New Britain Province.
The tournament was jointly sponsored by Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited and Rabaul Gold and Squash Inc. The competition commenced on the 18th and ended on the 20th of November 2022 and was witnessed by its major sponsors, New Britain Open Golf Committee, and participants. The competition's president, Mr. Peter Lang, extended his gratitude to the event sponsor for making the competition a success.
To our sponsors, you've gone over and above again every year, and we love coming back here every year for sure.
Mr. Lang further added that the competition also saw participants from overseas where travel restrictions are no longer imposed.
For all the people here, you're just wonderful people. We wouldn't come back every year if we didn't like the place, and you're just fabulous, absolutely fabulous. To Steve and Langy, thank you very much for all your assistance and your hard work leading up to the tournament.
The event was a success as the green staff of Ralum did a wonderful job despite the dry and hot weather conditions experienced during the competition. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. In overseas sports, FIFA World Cup, England has got their World Cup campaign off to a flying start with a 6-2 win over Iran.
Jude Bellingham became the first England teenager since Michael Owen to score at a World Cup after he flicked in a Luke Shaw cross. Bukayo Saka's first goal came shortly after, and Raheem Sterling scored another to see the English side carry a 3-0 lead into half-time. Marcus Rashford and Jack Grealish slotted home in the second half to secure the result. In this morning's other games, the Netherlands beat Senegal 2-0, while England and Wales drew 1-1. The Dutch side scored 2 late goals to secure their result. Forward Cody Gakpo got the first with 6 minutes remaining before substitute Davy Klaassen pounced on a rebound from Memphis Depay's shot to add a second deep into stoppage time. In Group B, Timothy Weah opened the scoring for the USA in the 36th minute before Welsh captain Gareth Bale equalised with an 82-second minute penalty.
In cricket, David Warner has blasted the process that led to a change in Cricket Australia's Code of Conduct.
Cricket Australia's Code of Conduct were approved by board members yesterday, which opened the door for Warner to front a 3-person panel and push for that lifetime leadership ban to be lifted. The move was approved 9 months after the Australian Cricketers Association first wrote to Cricket Australia officials urging Warner's ban to be reconsidered. Warner then criticised the length of time Cricket Australia had taken to change their code of conduct, saying that the decision to change it could have happened about 9 months ago. Stark is resting from the game, but Pat Cummins will be back as the captain after Josh Hazlewood took the reins at the SCG. The possibility of a pitch that suits Labuschagne's batting should bode well for him as he looks to increase the pace of his scoring to a limited overs style. Labuschagne said that he is looking for more early boundary opportunities to really get that innings going.
That ends True Kai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby and Kerma. Rain showers and thunderstorm. Daru, mostly cloudy with few showers. Alatau, partly cloudy. Afternoon to fine night. Popondetta, few showers and thunderstorm. In the Momase region, Lae, mostly cloudy with few showers and inland thunderstorm. Madang, partly cloudy with few evening showers. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy with brief afternoon and evening showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Kavieng, mostly fine with few night showers. Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka, mostly fine. Kimbe, partly cloudy with some evening showers. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, rain showers and thunderstorm. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru to Kerma to Yule Island to Hood Point, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Hood Point to Samurai Islands to Cape Vogel and eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Cape Vogel to Ewan Gulf to Finchafen through Vitia Straits to Siasi and Long Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Long Island to Madang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of New Island to New Britain and Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea, seas slight to moderate, southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea, seas slight east to northeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas smooth to slight east to northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas slight to moderate, easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots.
Update was proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 22nd of November, 2022. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.